My husband got injured and I became the only one working. His parents moved in to help, but within weeks, they took over our bedroom and made me sleep on the floor. "You're lucky we let you stay," his father said. My husband didn't even look at me. That night, I took my pillow and crawled into the laundry room. What I found behind the dryer. I'm 38 and live in Dayton, Ohio. I was married, am married, to a man named Jeff. We've been together 6 years. No kids, just the two of us. I work as an office manager at a dentist's office. Jeff worked at a garage until the accident. It happened in early December. Jeff was working on a car when something went wrong. The jack failed, the car dropped, and his leg got pinned. Multiple fractures. He had surgery, then was sent home to recover. He was in pain, couldn't walk, and couldn't work. I thought, okay, I'll handle things until he gets better. I picked up extra hours. Paid the rent, paid for groceries, ran every errand, kept the house clean. I didn't complain. I just wanted him to heal. But then his parents showed up. They didn't call. Didn't ask. They just came. Barbara and Charles. I opened the door one evening after work and there they were with rolling suitcases and matching fake smiles. Barbara hugged me like she meant it. "We're here to help," she said. They were lying. I thought it was a visit. A few days, maybe a week. They didn't say how long they were staying, and Jeff didn't either. They just moved in. Barbara immediately took over the kitchen. She started throwing out food I bought with my own money. "This sauce expired 2 months ago," she said, holding up a bottle I just bought. Then came the decorations. She brought her own throw pillows. Hung up her live, laugh, love wall art in my living room. Started talking about the house like she owned it. Charles was worse. He hogged the TV all day, snored loud as hell at night, and left crumbs everywhere. He also started fixing things that weren't broken. One day, I came home and the shower curtain was gone. Replaced with some old floral thing he brought from their house in Lancaster. Still, I kept telling myself, they're just trying to help. I bit my tongue. I worked my hours. I bought groceries. I paid bills. I cleaned up after all 3 of them. Then came the night everything changed. I got off work late. Came home around 7:30. My feet were killing me. I wanted a hot shower, a bowl of cereal, and bed. Instead, I walked into chaos. My clothes, my underwear, socks, everything, were in a laundry basket in the hallway. I stood there staring at it like it was a joke. "What the hell is this?" I asked. Barbara didn't look up from the kitchen. "Oh, Charles and I moved into your room," she said like she was announcing a weather update. "He needs a real bed for his back. You can sleep in the den." I looked at Jeff. He was on the couch watching TV, eating a sandwich. He didn't say a word. "Jeff?" I asked. He didn't even look at me. Just took another bite. "The den doesn't have a bed," I said, my voice cracking. "There's a sleeping bag," Barbara said. "We laid it out for you." Laid it out for me. Like I was a damn dog. I went to the den. Sure enough, a sleeping bag and a single pillow. My pillow. The good one. Not theirs. I sat on the floor and cried. Quiet, because I didn't want them to hear. The next few days were hell. I'd wake up sore from the floor, go work a full shift, come home, and have to cook or clean while they lounged around watching TV or doing crosswords. Barbara kept making little comments. "You're late. You look tired. Maybe you should wear more makeup." Then one night, I overheard them talking. I was walking to the bathroom and paused by the hallway when I heard Charles say, "She's lucky we let her stay." I stopped breathing. Then Barbara said, "She's not doing much. We're practically raising him." "And Jeff?" Jeff said nothing. Nothing at all. I just stood there, shaking. I went into the garage where we had the washer and dryer. Sat on the floor, hugged my knees. I felt invisible. Forgotten. Like I didn't matter anymore. I didn't want to go back in. So I stayed out there. I grabbed a towel from the laundry pile and laid down next to the dryer. At least it was warm. That's when I noticed something. A folder, black, dusty, stuck between the dryer and the wall. I reached back and pulled it out. It was thick. I opened it. There were papers inside. At first I didn't get what I was looking at. Then I saw the names. Jeff. And Barbara. It was a bank folder. Statements going back 2 years. And that's when I saw it, monthly transfers. From Jeff's work account to a separate savings account. One I didn't know existed. Thousands of dollars every month. There were letters too. One from a credit union in Pennsylvania confirming account activity. Another, a handwritten note. It was Barbara's handwriting. Keep this between us. Rachel doesn't need to know everything. I read it 3 times. Rachel doesn't need to know everything. It felt like a punch in the chest. This wasn't just them treating me like garbage. They were hiding money. Lying. Jeff had been giving her money behind my back. Thousands of dollars. While I was paying everything. Rent, food, utilities. That night I didn't sleep. Next morning, I didn't go to work. I called in sick. I took that folder and locked it in my car. Then I made another call. To a lawyer. That was the first move. I wasn't done. Not by a long shot. The lawyer I called was someone a friend at work recommended. Her name was Carla, mid-40s, straight shooter. She didn't waste time. I met her the next day during my lunch break. I showed her the folder. She flipped through it quietly, nodding as she read. This savings account, she said. You had no idea it existed? None, I said. And you're the one paying all the bills since his injury? Every damn one. She closed the folder and looked at me. Rachel, you've got a solid case. This is financial deception in a marriage. If you decide to file, we'll make sure this is included. Especially since it involves his mother. That word, file, made my stomach turn. I hadn't said the word divorce yet. Not even to myself. But I didn't stop her. I just nodded. Carla told me to gather all financial records, proof of what I'd paid since the accident, and to avoid confrontation until we had everything ready. I followed her advice, for about 2 days. But then things got worse. That Friday, I came home to find the locks changed. I stood on the front porch holding 2 grocery bags and turned the knob like an idiot. It didn't move. I tried my key again. Nothing. I knocked. No one answered. I knocked harder. Finally, Barbara opened the door just a crack. We decided it's better for everyone if you stay somewhere else, she said with a fake smile. You changed the locks on me? I said, my voice shaking. You've been acting unstable, she said. You left early yesterday. Jeff said you're being aggressive. Aggressive? I dropped the groceries right there on the porch. My arms were numb. My face felt hot. I pay for this house, I said. Every single bill in this place is under my name. Not anymore, she said. She slammed the door in my face. I stood there in shock. Jeff didn't even come to the door. I got in my car, shaking so bad I could barely turn the key. I drove straight to Carla's office. She saw me without an appointment. You said to wait, I told her. I can't wait. She agreed. We filed. Emergency spousal eviction, financial misconduct, and a motion to freeze Jeff's hidden savings account. Carla worked fast. But the next twist hit harder. While she was filing paperwork, I went to a hotel and started gathering what proof I could from old emails and digital receipts. That's when I found something I wasn't expecting. Jeff had signed up for a P.O. box 6 months earlier. I never knew. I dug around and remembered seeing a receipt in the junk drawer once. He told me it was for car parts. I drove to the post office and showed my ID. I didn't think they'd tell me anything. But I got lucky. The clerk recognized me and said something that made my heart drop. "Oh, you're Jeff's wife? He's been getting mail here from some online real estate place. I thought y'all were moving." "Moving?" I repeated. "Yeah," he said casually. He and his parents came in 2 weeks ago asking about forwarding mail. Said they were heading back to Pennsylvania soon. I stood there, silent. They were planning to leave. The next day, Carla's assistant called me. "Something weird came through," she said. "You need to see it." I met her at the office again. The weird thing? A quitclaim deed. Jeff had submitted a signed form claiming he was the sole tenant on our lease and that I had moved out voluntarily. He was trying to kick me off the lease, possibly so he could keep the house or re-sign it under his name. Except I was the one who signed the original lease. And all the rent payments came from my bank account. We had him. Carla's face lit up. "This is fraud. He can't just erase you. Not from your own lease. We're going to bury them in paperwork." That night, I drove back to the house. I didn't go inside. I parked across the street and watched. Barbara came out first. Took a smoke break on the porch. Then Charles joined her. They were laughing about something. Jeff came out last, limping slightly, holding a drink. They looked like a happy little cult. And I realized something. This wasn't about his injury. This wasn't even about me. This was a setup. A slow one. They'd been planning this for months. The money transfers. The P.O. box. The fake story to the landlord. The whispering. The subtle comments about how unstable I was. They wanted the house. Or maybe just to control Jeff's money. Either way, I wasn't just unwanted, I was in the way. They wanted to erase me completely. I went back to the hotel and made a list. 1. Change my direct deposit to a new bank account. 2. Print all receipts, rent checks, utility bills with my name. 3. Contact the landlord directly. 4. File a police report for lockout. 5. Request camera footage from neighbors. It was war now. And I wasn't going to play nice anymore. 3 days after filing with Carla, I got a call from my landlord, Mr. Reyes. He's an older guy, owns several properties around Dayton. I'd always dealt with him directly when paying rent. He's the kind that still takes checks. "Rachel," he said. "I just got something odd in the mail from your husband." My stomach tightened. "What was it?" I asked. "He submitted a request to remove you from the lease. Claimed you moved out. Said I should reroute everything to him. Did you approve it?" "I didn't do a damn thing yet. I've got your checks going back over a year. All from you." I sighed. "Thank you. Please don't do anything yet. There's some legal stuff going on." He paused for a second. "You need me to testify or anything, I'll do it. I've seen who really runs that house." That gave me a small bit of relief. But not for long. Later that week, Carla called me with news. The bank account we discovered, the one with Barbara and Jeff's names, had been drained. "Gone?" I asked. "Every cent moved to a new account we haven't traced yet. Likely offshore." I just stared at the phone, speechless. "They knew we were coming," she said. I filed the freezing order, but it didn't process fast enough. I felt sick. I had nothing in savings myself. I'd been spending everything on rent, food, and now hotel nights. Carla assured me we were still going forward, but this meant Jeff, or more likely Barbara, was actively covering tracks. And then came the next blow. I got a text from my boss at work. Simple. Cold. "Rachel, we need to talk. Come in early tomorrow." I barely slept. I went in, sat down in his office, and he closed the door. He looked uncomfortable. "I received a complaint," he said. "An anonymous letter." "What kind of complaint?" He slid it across the desk. Typed. Clean. Formal sounding. "Rachel has been exhibiting erratic behavior due to a mental breakdown at home. She may be under emotional distress. Please consider reevaluating her responsibilities or recommending a leave of absence. My mouth dropped open. It wasn't signed. But I knew exactly who sent it. This is insane, I said. He nodded. I know. You've worked here 10 years. You've never once caused a problem. I'm not acting on it. But I had to show you. They weren't just trying to kick me out of my home. They were trying to erase me from my life. I confronted Jeff that night. I didn't knock. I waited until Barbara left to get groceries, and I walked in behind her before she shut the door. She screamed, dropped her bag of milk and cereal. I'm calling the police, she shouted. Do it, I said. Jeff came limping out from the bedroom. What are you doing here? I pulled out the letter. Dropped it on the table. You crossed the line. I don't know what that is. Cut the crap. You know damn well. And draining that account? That was smart. But not smart enough. Barbara grabbed her phone and pretended to dial. Make sure to tell them you locked out the legal tenant, I said. And stole money from her. And lied to her boss. She paused. Jeff didn't say anything. He looked small. Weaker than ever. Like a boy who got caught cheating on a test. You think you're gonna win? Barbara hissed. I have the lease. The bills. Bank records. Emails. I've got it all, I said. You'll be lucky if you don't get charged. Charles appeared in the hallway then, rubbing his eyes. What's the noise? She back again? He looked at me like I was a fly buzzing in his house. I turned to Jeff one last time. You could have stood up. You could have said something. He looked down. And that was it. I walked out. But not before looking at Barbara dead in the eyes. You should have stayed in Pennsylvania. 2 days later, we got a hit from a private investigator Carla hired. Barbara had purchased a small property in Lancaster under her maiden name. Cash. About a week before she and Charles moved in with us. She was planning a move. The savings account had been prepped months ago. Jeff had been signing money over behind my back while I paid every bill. They used me. For housing. For money. For time. And now they were trying to erase me completely. But they didn't count on one thing. I had proof. And I wasn't scared of making it all public. 3 weeks after the confrontation, everything started moving fast. Carla filed a full civil suit. We named Jeff. We named Barbara. We named Charles too, just for the hell of it. Fraud, emotional distress, financial deception, and illegal eviction. Carla added a breach of spousal financial trust clause with damages attached. She didn't play around. Neither did I. Then we delivered subpoenas. One to Jeff at the house. One to Barbara at her new secret property in Lancaster. One to the bank manager who oversaw the account transfers. And one to our landlord, who agreed to testify on my behalf. We filed to have the house seized as joint marital property until the divorce was finalized, because Jeff used our money to pay for furniture and utilities and tried to take full control of it. But the real kicker? We subpoenaed the surveillance footage from the neighbor's ring cam. You know what was on it? Charles yelling at me through the door the night I was locked out. You don't live here anymore, leech, he shouted while tossing one of my bras out onto the porch. The footage even showed Barbara flipping me off and calling me dead weight. We gave it to Carla. She smiled and said, perfect. Court day came fast. Jeff didn't show up the first time. Barbara and Charles did. They sat there smug like they were untouchable. Like this was just some annoying formality. But when Carla pulled out the handwritten letter, Barbara's own note, the one that said Rachel doesn't need to know everything, her face turned red. Real red. Then we showed the court the money trail. Transfer after transfer. Thousands of dollars quietly funneled into that hidden account. The judge leaned forward. You were siphoning marital income without your spouse's knowledge? Barbara tried to speak. Carla cut her off. She wasn't just siphoning. She was directing it. She coached the deception and then used the funds to purchase out-of-state property while living in my client's home for free. Then came the video footage. The courtroom went quiet as it played. Jeff was there on the second day of hearings. Watching it. He looked humiliated. Or maybe just defeated. I watched him squirm as the judge turned to him. You allowed this? You signed over your paychecks and let your parents lock your wife out of the marital home? Jeff muttered something. The judge didn't care. In the end, here's how it all went down. 1. The house. The court ordered Jeff and his parents to vacate immediately. It was ruled a marital residence, and I was restored full access until divorce proceedings concluded. They had 48 hours to get out. Police escorted if necessary. 2. The money. Barbara and Jeff were found liable for financial misconduct. They were ordered to return every dollar traced from Jeff's garage paychecks to the hidden account. Since they'd drained it, they were forced to sell Barbara's Lancaster property to repay me. Every cent came back, with interest. 3. My job. I brought the anonymous letter to light. My boss backed me. He even told me, if you want to press charges for defamation, I'll support it. I didn't press charges. I didn't need to. They were buried in lawsuits. 4. The divorce, finalized 3 months later. I walked away with half of everything, including Jeff's garage injury settlement. Carla made sure of it. He tried to fight it, said I didn't deserve the money. The judge disagreed. 5. Barbara and Charles, they were banned from contacting me. Any violation would lead to harassment charges. I later heard they moved in with one of Barbara's sisters in New Jersey. Word is the sister kicked them out within 2 months. Jeff tried to reach out once. 1 weak little email that said, I never meant for it to get so bad. Maybe someday we can talk. I didn't reply. I forwarded it to Carla. Then I deleted it. Now? I live in a small apartment near work. It's quiet. Clean. Peaceful. I kept the good pillow. I bought a proper bed. And the best damn dryer money could buy. Sometimes I still remember that night I crawled into the laundry room, shaking, feeling completely invisible. But then I remember what I found. That folder. That proof. And I remind myself, I wasn't erased. I was underestimated. And now, they all know exactly who I am.